possibly need to be changed or at least looked at, and then try to explain that process. Like was mentioned before, some people don't like to hear that. I mean, they are taxpayers and they have property, and it's sometimes a process, and government moves like molasses in January, for an old quote. So with that, I'm good unless someone has some questions. Actually, it is 2 minutes after 9, so I'm going to call the McLeod County Board of Commissioners April 21st, 2026 meeting to order. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good morning, everyone, especially our students this morning. And I guess something just struck me that I'm gonna say is when we just did our pledge, it's for the republic for which it stands. And that's something to look at sometimes in some of the things we just talked about. We have to try to make decisions for everyone, no matter who, how poor, how rich, how influential, how whatever their stand may be. So that sometimes gets to be difficult. Okay, with that, consideration of agenda items. Is there any additions or corrections?
Mr. Chair, I do know that we have a letter reading that's going to be done by our Health and Human Services Director, Barrett Spores, and I was wondering if we could add that after the consent agenda, please.
Very well.
Thank you.
Anyone, any other corrections or additions?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve with the addition. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Chatska. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consent agenda.
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I'll move consent agenda.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
could I just explain what a consent agenda is, perhaps?
Absolutely, go ahead.
So, what you're hearing here, and if you have a copy of the agenda, item 3 is called the consent agenda, and then below that are a number of sub-items that are listed. And these are items that are all being voted on by the county board, and there's just been a motion and a second to pass those items. The reason they're on a consent agenda is because they're more routine or non-controversial items, a lot of like repeat agreements or paying of bills that have been, I mean, there's documents, they have a board packet that's 100 or more pages long that details all of these items, but they don't really warrant their own individual spot on our agenda because they don't need a lot of discussion or debate typically. If one of the items does warrant more discussion, it gets pulled off of that consent agenda and it gets placed on the regular agenda so we can discuss it in more detail. So they have the information, it's in the packet, it's been reviewed, but it goes much quicker other than for me now taking some time on it. But so I just wanted to explain what that consent agenda was, Mr. Chair. I have nothing else. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
We have a motion on the floor, so I'd
I'm
like
sorry.
I'd like to finish this as well. I'm just gonna add to that just a little bit. When he says it gets pulled, any item on these agendas have the preference that any commissioner can pull them items off by a motion. I mean, it obviously takes him to pull it off, and then those items will be discussed individually, because we're approving these as a blanket. If you understand that, and it takes some consideration when we set up the agenda that if there's some items in there that we think, when we set up the agenda, we try to pull them off so that there is room for the public or a commissioner to ask questions about those agenda items. That's important to know. And I guess that's all I have on the matter, but with that, is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chair,
I'm getting,
so I apologize, but I made a mistake when I asked you to put Barrett's reading right after the consent agenda, so could we go ahead with the auditor treasurer item, please? Thank you.
yes, there is I'm not gonna get into we could go into remaking a motion to change the agendas, but I think I'll use my chair's preference to go ahead and make that change. Connie, would you, this is our auditor.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Board,
morning.
students. Welcome to McLeod County. It's great to see you all. If I could just for 1 second, I won't be able to join you today. Usually I do for lunch, but it's definitely, if you have any questions of me, my contact is on our website. I am in the area of property taxes, elections, and drainage. So, feel free to reach out with anything. Okay, so I do have 2 items for you today. Item A is to consider approving the County Ditch 40 crossing replacement at a cost of $94,200 and the Houston Engineering, Inc. additional services request estimated at $10,000 for CD 40 construction plan set, quote package, and construction management with funds from County Ditch 40. So during your December 16th, 2025 board meeting, the McLeod County Drainage Authority approved a client services agreement from HEI in the amount of $15,800 to complete a historic review and culvert sizing of CD 40 in response to a repair request from Barry Barton to replace a bridge on CD 40 in Rich Valley Township. This included the as-constructed and subsequently improved condition, or ASIC, grade of the system, survey, and report of the 1 mile open channel. Included in your board packet was the finalized HEI report recommending replacement of the crossing with a minimum of a 90-inch diameter corrugated metal pipe culvert at an invert elevation of 1,029. Estimated total cost is $120,000, which includes construction and contingency to the $94,200, and then again the $10,000 HEI additional services request. HEI will not exceed the scope and budget for the completion of this work without prior authorization from McLeod County.
I have, thank you, Connie, and just because we have the students here today, so we explain, and then I do also have a question, but however, I just want to remind or let the students know that we are not only the county board, but we are the drainage authority. And when she mentioned we had met before as the drainage authority, and now this is my question built in, this is a county board decision though to spend the money because the project was basically approved by the drainage authority. Am I right in assuming that?
It's still an action of the Drainage Authority, I believe, but I will refer to Mr. Hench.
And I'm not, I asked that question when we did the agenda, and again, I don't want to confuse anybody, but we wear 2 hats there, and there's a whole formal process that we can go through, but I thought when we met as the Drainage Authority, we actually approved doing this work as the Drainage Authority, but now this part comes out of county expenditure, so I'm assuming that this is a county board action.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
I mean, the funding for this is coming out of the County Ditch Fund 40, so we'd still be acting as Drainage Authority, for.
So all the money is coming out of the,
I'm not sure if there's a
all the money for this
cost.
is coming out of
County Ditch 40.
County Ditch 40, very well. Now, if there'd be a road involved or anything, then we'd go over to county funding or transportation, correct?
Yes, I mean.
Don't mean to put you guys on the spot, but I just didn't
Yeah.
want to blow through this without doing some explaining.
If this were a road crossing that were being replaced just because of the road, the need for the road and the transportation, and to maintain that roadway, rather than the emphasis being on the drainage themselves. So if we're doing a construction project on the roadway and it needed to be replaced as part of that road project, then the road authority, which in this case, if it's a county road, you know, it would be the county, then the county would be responsible for that cost. And then when that happens, sometimes there's a cost share where we look at how much longer, if this culvert didn't need to be replaced yet, but it was halfway through its lifespan, say, well, then the drainage authority may still chip in some money because they're getting the benefit of a new culvert as well that had, you know, partially decayed. So, I mean, the short answer is, I mean, it depends, right? But, if it's because of a road project and the roadway's doing it, then the road authority would pay. If it's more for the drainage itself,
So today
typically
we're
it's the
acting,
ditch.
today we're acting as the drainage authority then. So I just want to make that clear. If some of your questions earlier, you asked about what we all do and how many hats we wear, that we're combining this because it's the same people. I mean, you know, we could probably get more complicated with it, but that's the gist of it. So, I stand corrected that all the money is coming out of the ditch 40, and that means ditch 4, when she says county ditch 40, that's a watershed. And everybody on that ditch 40 is like a mini county. They are the ones that pay the bills for that infrastructure. And that's what that means. That means that part of this expenditure is coming from, everyone on that watershed. So, I hope I cleared some of this up.
Mr. Chair, can I
go
make a
ahead.
point of clarification for the students?
Sure.
So, you know, when you guys are out in the county or driving and you see those ditches that have water in them sometimes coming from the fields, that's part of this drainage system that he's talking about. So those little, like the fields have tiles in that drain the water. That's what we're talking about right now, is that's the drainage system.
And there's things we go through, redetermination of benefits, and we have people that actually go out and looked at all the water that's flowing towards that particular system or tiled into it, pays benefits toward that. So I'm not apologizing for taking a lot of time. That's what we have the students come in here for. Maybe Robert's rules wouldn't like it all, but it's okay. With that, I guess, board's wishes on Connie's request.
I do have one question.
Go
So
ahead.
when you say that the scope will not exceed the budget, is that the 120 or is that the 104 too?
That's the 120.
The 120, 120,000, they won't exceed that, okay.
And then, Mr. Chair, I'd make one other clarification.
Go ahead.
And just, this might not always hold true, but, you know, if this were a highway-driven project being brought before the board on the county level, we'd probably have Mr. Engel here presenting it, because they'd be running that project, where it's just a good sign that, or a sign that when it's coming from the auditor treasurer's office, it likely is more drainage related, because that falls within her purview. So that might not always hold true, but just for the students, you know, the request would typically come from a different department or entity.
Right, and don't want to take too long, but within that watershed, ditch law says that transportation, which would be roads, public roads and public bridges, are responsible to fix their part of that infrastructure. Now that I really muddied the waters, excuse the pun, but that's how it works. So it's not that complicated. It is if this is the first time you've heard it, but that's okay. Again, board's wishes on Connie's request.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
have
you.
Another one?
Yes. Item B is to consider approving the lease agreement PS 0394 Amendment 2 between McLeod County and the State of Minnesota Department of Public Safety Driver and Vehicle Services for leased space in the McLeod County Government Center here at 520 Chandler Avenue North in Glencoe. So lease PS 0394 and Amendment 1 between McLeod County and the State of Minnesota Department of Public Safety, and DVS were approved during an October 5, 2021 and October 19, 2021 county board meetings. I, the deputy registrar, was contacted by DVS to renew the lease for another 5-year term. Amendment 2 redefines PS 0394 lease term dates to commence on July 1st, 2025, and continue through June 30th, 2030, with correlating office space payments for the driver exam station.
Thanks, Connie, and this is something the students may be familiar with, because this includes the driving tests and evaluator, whatever the new terminologies are. So that's the contract that we make for those services here in McLeod County. Which, any comments other than that from you? I mean, that's what we do, and it takes, a contract to pursue their, keep on doing this, so.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I'll move request as presented.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Chatska. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I see a value to the citizens of McLeod County and also some neighboring counties with this approval and agreement that we have with opening up our government center space for Department of Motor Vehicle Services to use, and I think it's a huge benefit, and it gives us a positive exposure in McLeod County as well. Thank you.
That just brought up an addition comment for me. It's not just for McLeod County residents. This is for anyone from the state of Minnesota can stop and do this, and it being this close to the metro area, and I think a lot of you young people, if you're like my grandkids, they had to make long appointments and go different places, so this is all part of that, so. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
And now the added on item, Barrett,
Mr. Chair,
go ahead.
I just want to note for the board that we are not live right now on HCBN because they are having issues, but we're in record mode, so anything that's not being broadcast, the public will be played for them when it is available. So if you receive any messages or calls, that may be why. Thank you.
Very good, so to look at yourselves, you just need to go to YouTube. Go ahead, Barrett, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, students. My name is Barrett Spores. I'm the Health and Human Services Director. Like Connie, I won't be able to join you today, but I have a very large department of approximately 126 people. These are some of the wonderful people that I get to work with on a regular basis. And we are always looking for people to work in our department, social workers. I'm always going to make a plug for our department. Social workers, nurses, people with a 4-year bachelor's degree, 4-year technical degree. We have all kinds of positions. If you love math, if you love people, you like computers, we might be a good spot for you. So I have part of my child protection team with today. As County Attorney Hench has mentioned several times, we had a We Care About Kids event this weekend. It's a joint effort with Health and Human Services, the Sheriff's Department, and the County Attorney's Office. And this was our first event since pre-2020, pre-COVID. So the team worked hard to get things going again, and last I heard, we had about 322 kids in attendance on Saturday, so that was pretty great. That's just the kids. Their parents came with too, so. So yesterday, our child services supervisor, Angie Blackheader, and I received an email letter from Detective Sergeant Billy Kroll with the Sheriff's Department that I would like to read today. I am writing to formally acknowledge and commend the outstanding efforts of Allie Pink, and the entire child protection staff in your department for the exemplary work in planning and preparing for We Care About Kids Day. The dedication demonstrated by your team over the past weekend was truly evident, and it reflects their unwavering commitment to the families of McLeod County. Their meticulous planning and coordination with various entities over the past months exemplify professionalism and a genuine concern for child welfare. In light of their exceptional efforts, I wholeheartedly recommend that your entire child protection staff, especially Allie Pink, be recognized for their hard work and dedication. They are a valuable asset to McLeod County and deserve recognition in front of their supervisors and peers, and I'm adding commissioners. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to protecting and serving our community's children and families. Respectfully submitted, Detective Sergeant Billy Crowell. Thank you.
Barrett, can I just,
Of
I
course.
mean, that's outstanding, isn't it? 322. I mean, I'm not
We are,
involved
yes.
firsthand with this, but any event you can get 300 people to.
Absolutely.
is awesome.
Yes.
And that's not even including their parents.
That's
so
right. Yes.
Yeah, congratulations. That just shows you've taken, it's not just a job. You've taken it way beyond that in an area that is really needing and deserving of people like yourselves to do those events like that. So thank you for those efforts.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Another round of applause for them. Thank you. Environmental Services, I seen Mark stepping forward, so,
Morning, everyone.
morning.
Oh,
Can you explain,
yeah,
who you are?
yeah. I'm Mark Tolutsky. I'm the Environmental Service Director. Our office is up in Hutchinson at the Recycling Center. So some of you guys, I think I see some faces I'm familiar with. I've been doing this this is my 26th year with the county. Our office is responsible for issuing permits for construction and administering all the ordinances. So one of the things on the agenda today is an amendment, so we'll go through that and try to give you a little exposure to that. County Board has the authority to be more restrictive than state statute, and so that is what we will be looking at in the third item on our agenda today. So welcome, and I'm glad to see that we do have a pretty good crowd here today, so thanks for coming. And good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So 3 items for your consideration this morning. Item A is to consider approving conditional use permit 26-06 as requested by Mike Zankin to construct an accessory building 60 by 80, creating a structure greater than 2,400 square feet in the agricultural zone on a parcel that is less than 10 acres. This parcel is 4.65 acres. It's located in the east half of the southwest quarter of Section 5 in Sumter Township. The Sumter Township Board recommended approval on April 14th, 2026. The McLeod County Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval on March 25th, 2026 with the following conditions. Number 1, the structure shall be used for personal use only. If the structure is expanded or used to generate revenue, a new conditional use permit will be required. Those dates are not wrong. Mike did appear in front of the township, or in front of the County Planning Commission, and he went back to the township. When he applied, by the time he had checked with Janelle Zimmerman, who is the clerk for Sumter Township, they had rescheduled their meeting due to the annual meeting in March. So he had to go back to the township per the Planning Commission before he came to you, but both bodies did recommend approval for this request.
Okay, and then just another comment from me, this is not the only information that we receive for this decision. There's more in the packet, just for the information of the students. I mean, through the planning and advisory, who is appointed by the county board's members, they meet and go through the statutes and ordinances, plus we have a more detailed plan in our packet. So just so you're clear, we're not making it off of these 2 paragraphs alone, so.
That is correct. And what Commissioner Kruger is referring to is the county does have a planning commission. McLeod County is a little unique. Township has the opportunity to be advisory to the county. The county holds the ordinance. If the township elects to have their own ordinance, they can do that. They are their own legislative body. In McLeod County, we have a joint powers agreement where the townships are strictly advisory to the county's ordinance. So it is very nice. It streamlines and it shortens the process, if you will, for these applications.
And I personally, and I think the rest of the board as well, take the highest regard to what the townships and the planning commission advise us to. Not always, but most of the time, so. Wishes of the board.
I'll move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Cheska to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item B is to consider approving preliminary plat 26-01 as requested by Christopher Schultz of Lester Prairie, Minnesota. This is for a one-lot preliminary plat to be known as North Elmwood, located in the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter, Section 10 in Virgin Township. This plat will be 5.33 acres in size and is currently zoned agricultural. It will stay zoned agricultural. The Virgin Township Board recommended approval on April 8th, 2026. With that being said, the McLeod County Planning Commission, we heard this as well at our March meeting, and they did recommend unanimously to approve this request as well. For those in the area, it's just out by the Lester Prairie Sportsman's Club. It's on the south side of County Road 1. There is Christopher's, his family had owned the property that they are on. It's an old gravel pit area that he has done a very nice job of cleaning up. There's a pond there that he has, and he's just asking to add an eligibility to build a home.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
before we move into the next phase, Mark, could you explain to myself and the students as well the process, and you maybe better condense it because I know it's a lengthy process, on someone coming to the board with a request like this?
Yeah, and one of the things that Commissioner Schmalz is asking, through county ordinance, and without getting into our county ordinance in detail to bore you guys, we have a building eligibility that's granted to each quarter section. And we could have our discussion on what a quarter section is. But if there's already a house built in the quarter, landowners have the right to come and ask for another building eligibility, but it has to be on property that the board considers hard to farm. Hard to farm is defined as a parcel that's 30% wooded, small and irregular shaped, or something that has poor soils on it. The reason for that is through our comp plan, McLeod County, it's a plan that we guide our land use decisions on. We value agriculture. We're an egg preservation county, so we would like to see our prime ag land stay as agricultural, growing crops. So that is one of the things that Commissioner Schmaltz was asking. We have a 3-step process. It's a sketch plan, which is the concept. We have a public hearing at a preliminary level that is required by state statute, and then we have a final plat process where we just make sure that the title looks fine and it can be recorded.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Thanks for condensing that, Mark. I mean, it's a process that can last, am I overstating it if I say definitely months, but can it last a year?
In 26 years, the fastest I've seen it done is 4.5 months. And then sometimes with the title side of things, if they have to send that to get a consent to a mortgage or a financier that's out of state, I've been in front of the board multiple times asking for extensions, so the longest one is about 5 years. So it can be a cumbersome process that we don't have control of.
Very good. And Mr. Chair, and Mark, thanks for that explanation on the processes involved with looking at these. Mr. Chair, I am familiar with the family and I'm familiar with the property, and I'm happy to approve the request as presented.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. And the last item is item C. That is to consider approving a request from the McLeod County Water Plan Task Force on feedlots to amend McLeod County Feedlot Management Ordinance pertaining to out-of-county manure, Section 8.003, manure application from facilities originating outside McLeod County, and as well as Section 8.005, which is manure stockpiling. The Feedlot Committee recommended unanimously on January 12th, 2026. The County Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval at a public hearing March 25th, 2026. So with that being said, this has gone through public hearing. Notice was given to all the cities and the clerks 30 days prior. It's been posted on our website. It's been posted at our facility. I don't know if you would like me to go through the specific changes. The feedlot committee itself, I was just looking at this morning, I think we met eight or nine times on this. Matt Fitzgerald is here. He is a landowner, producer, organics, and he participated in this discussion, so I appreciate the input that Matt has given us. McLeod County is a little more restrictive in regards to the out-of-county manure, and what this does, it just gives a little bit longer range to bring manure in from outside the county through an administrative permit process, and at the same time increases the setbacks off of the road a little bit to try to protect our road ditches, our right-of-way, but also that sight line piece, because typically with manure, one of the biggest things we get back as far as feedback is in regards to smell, odor.
Any more questions from the board?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
So I've been with our feedlot ordinance ever since it was put together, which is way back in the 1997 and 1998 era. The topic of out-of-county manure has always been an extremely restricted issue within our ordinance, actually placing us above and beyond most counties in the state as far as the restrictions that are in there. There have been landowners that have come forward and have asked for a loosening of some of those restrictions, taking advantage of the nutrient benefits that manure has, and especially in today's climate with the expense of fertilizer that has to get trucked all the way across the world to be used here, being able to use our manures that are produced not even within McLeod County but outside the borders to be able to raise crops is definitely something to look at. And this has been, I would say, several months in the making, as a feedlot committee has met many times. And there's been input anywhere from leave it as it is to make an extreme change to loosen it up. And I think we've kind of negotiated a happy medium to start with. We've definitely loosened up the window for the stockpiling. We've added some setbacks. We've also had some extensive visits with our attorney's office as to how to, if there is a landowner or an application out there that is a problem, we do have a way to deal with it. We want to make sure that everybody that's out there that's farming is creating a positive atmosphere for this topic. And so I'm happy with how this turned out. With that, I will make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
And I should have did this originally, so I apologize for this. In the numbering sequence under 8.003, we have an added F, and that should be added D, because we do not have a D. So on the, just the numbering sequence under 8.003, where it says F, setbacks B through G in 8.005 of this ordinance, that should say D, not F. If I could ask for that to be included in the motion.
Is that all right with the motion makers?
Motion stands with the
Second?
change.
Yes.
All right. We're in the discussion phase, so thank you, Mark. I just wanted to ask, Commissioner Wright did a excellent job of explaining, and it's been one of the top 5 things that, as long as I've been a commissioner, has always been some questions about this. I know the importance in organic farming and what's the right word for composting. I mean, it's really important. And then what makes it difficult for us, we're also, as you heard earlier, in drainage, so we need to stay back from waters and intakes. Kind of a different subject, but the state takes a dim view of getting water polluted with any kind of nutrients, so it's one of them, like I said, juggling things that you gotta try to make sure everybody, plus the people coming out from the city, you try to do the best you can, because we want a welcoming county for those as well.
Mr.
With
Chair,
that,
one,
go ahead, yep.
we've been talking about formatting and some numbers or numbering, and I think some of you were looking at your agenda and you wouldn't see it in there. And we've been referring to this board packet several times, and what that is, I mean, we have an agenda that just barely goes onto the 4th page today, which is pretty short for our county. The board packet is the supporting documentation that is provided to both the commissioners, and it's also available online for the public, so there's, it's all publicly available, is 219 pages. So Mark's items today are several pages, but the various items that we've covered today, there's 219 pages of supporting documents or material. That's all kind of part of the record that's being considered. So you wouldn't see some of what's being referred to in what you have in your hand, but it is available to the public, and it's something that the board reviews prior to these meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Hench. I was just double checking with my administrator. We used to have to keep a hard copy in here. Again, a little out of order going through all this, but we used to keep a hard copy that anybody coming in could see the agenda. In fact, it isn't that many years ago, we got all our agendas hard copy. We had to go to the courthouse and pick up now it's all electronic. And if you do have an interest in that, it's worth, you go online and look at our county, and you'll see the agendas and the packet. If you want to compare them, you can hit the packet, and it'll show you the long form or our agenda. And I understand we do have a tablet in the room with the agenda on it if somebody wanted to look at it. But anybody interested in county government, it's worth looking at, because sometimes it seems with our workshops and our subject matter that we move through it fairly rapidly, but there's a lot of consideration been taken pre-meeting, so.
I could add on that, when I started back in 2009 and we got everything in a hard copy, that wasn't uncommon for that to be 2 to 3 inches thick. Everything had to be printed. It would take a couple days for the administration to put that together, to put together the, half a dozen packets that were required for a meeting, and there's a lot of wasted paper. Technology has cleaned that up a lot, that's for sure, so.
It's not just cleaned it up, but if there's an error, I'm not a tech guy, I come out of pencil and paper, but if there is an addition or a correction, especially a correction, it can go out electronically to not only our board, but in our county page and get it sent out. And it updates us fairly fast, and we still make some mistakes now and then. I'm on that, and I look at it, and I kick myself that how I could miss, usually it's clerical, but how you could miss that, but we
Mr.
do have
Chair,
a motion, go ahead.
if I may, how many of you guys look at hard copy in school? How many of you guys use electronics in your phone and read most of your stuff on your phone and tablets? So that's what they're referring to. And so I think, it's spoken well to this audience, today's generation. It's mainly electronics, and that's where they're getting their information
Yeah, for
from.
people watching, you didn't see the hands, they were down below the shoulders. But with that, we have a motion on the floor. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
If I might, I'll say that, I'll support the motion that's in front of us this morning. I think it's a good example of how we're interested in supporting the farmers in not just McLeod County, but the area that shares McLeod County. And the farming community itself adds a lot of value to our communities, and I think it's important that we support them whenever we have the opportunity to do that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just in addition to that, I know we have concerned citizens here, and I appreciate their patience in us, but I do think there's a great importance of these younger people getting some inkling of what we're going through, and hopefully have some thoughts some days of participating or running for some different office. So with that, all in favor of the motions?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I think we're off track with the motions. Can you come up, please? He's tracking your motions, and there's something missing, so I'll have Stefan tell you. Can you just-
Approval, second.
Yeah.
That was for C.
You must have missed it.
I believe that it was right. Could you repeat?
'Cause we
Could
changed
you
the
just
motion.
repeat it to make sure for 5C?
All right, just for clarification,
Thank
just
you.
to make sure that the motion was made by Commissioner Wright and seconded by Commissioner Small, so there was addition to Part F to that motion, and it was all approved by the motion maker and the second. Went through the discussion, and with that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
And that's okay. I mean, we're trying to, accomplish two things. We're trying to get our business done, and I really like to, get as much out to the students as we can. Go ahead, Andrew.
All right, I'm Andrew Engel. I am the County Public Works Director and County Engineer. I oversee all of the road and bridge projects and road maintenance in the county, as well as oversee the Parks and Fairgrounds. With me is John Jarbeck. He is the Parks and Fairgrounds Manager, and John will be handling the items this morning.
Good morning.
Morning, John.
Item A, consider approving the estimate from Hilliard Incorporated of Hutchinson, Minnesota for trash receptacles at a cost of $13,747.60 with funds from the designated for capital assets budget. As outlined in the Parks Plan, improving refuse areas was a priority at all parks. The new receptacles will replace existing steel barrels that have degraded substantially. A second estimate was received from Granger Incorporated of Lake Forest, Illinois, in the amount of $18,193.87.
I've got a couple of questions, John.
Yep.
And I apologize with the schedules this week. I wanted to talk to you earlier, but the receptacles are there now. Are they not 55-gallon drums with trash put on them with a cover on top?
Correct. A lot of them are that. Some of them are like residential trash cans that we have that are just staked into the ground. But so a combination of both of those. More of the drums.
Question,
Yep.
do you feel, I mean, I looked at the amount of money. Do you feel, that's one subject, is the amount that this costs. Do you feel that these new receptacles, I looked at them in the packet and I am a little bit familiar with them, but they're easily vandalized. I mean, in a previous job, I had to redo some that looked like somebody took a sledgehammer to them and, you know, in cold weather and they disintegrated. Do you think that's, worth the update? I mean, now that we talk about it, it's been a long time that it was barrels. Just any comments or any commissioner thoughts on that?
I guess my comment would be that we haven't had any issues with vandalism of any trash cans since I've been here, whether it's the plastic ones that we do currently have or the steel ones. We haven't had, luckily, any issues with that, so I personally don't have any concerns over vandalism to these ones. I mean, I guess it's always a potential. For me, I guess the reason why we chose to go with this style, for one, you know, you don't have the possibility of that top being left open or the wind blowing it open, where then you get rain in there or garbage flying around, which makes it a lot more work for our staff to either when they're emptying it or picking it up if it's blowing around. So these are more secure in that way. And so that was one of the driving forces of choosing these ones. But
They put liners in them, either one.
correct. Yep.
Questions from the board?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Chatska. Discussion? I will go along with the motion with a little bit of reservation, just because I've dealt with these before. The wind will take the tops and blow them off and break.
These tops actually don't remove. There's a door on them, so you actually open the door and then empty the trash that way. The top doesn't flip open.
No, I mean, but the wind, I have these exact dumpster tops I've dealt with. They can still blow open, and there's a strap that holds them from flopping, you know, so they can't be taken off. If that's the same ones, it sure looks like it, but no, they're good. But again, I will go along with the motion with the reservation. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
This more is a general ask about the trash receptacles at the fairgrounds. Are we reducing the amount of receptacles? Are we just adding to the receptacles we have?
So these will only be going at the parks. None of these will be at the fairgrounds. So these will be replacing existing ones at the parks.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Item B, consider awarding PK 520026 26-008, the park's aggregate surfacing project to Hanson Gravel Incorporated of Hutchinson, Minnesota, at a cost of $83,928.25 with funds from the designated for capital assets budget. As outlined in the parks plan, parking area improvements were identified as priorities in multiple parks. Most of the park roads and parking areas have not had substantial resurfacing completed for years. This project will provide more convenient parking areas, increase the size of parking areas, and improve drainage on the roads that will decrease staff maintenance. The engineer's estimate for the project was $85,000. Quotes were also received from Dunick Incorporated of Princeburg, Minnesota for $99,318, and William Mueller and Sons Incorporated from Hamburg, Minnesota for $116,028.
Questions from the board? Wishes of the board?
I just have one question, Mr.
Go
Chair.
ahead.
What's the, your construction window is to get this done right away before parks open?
Correct, yep, May 4th to May 20th. A lot of that has to do with the campgrounds, but if some of the outlying parks that don't have campgrounds, if they wanted to start before then, we would be okay with that.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Cheska. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
And John, with the quote we've got, does it include dust control on, or on all the park areas that are being, that are getting additional aggregate? What's the plan with dust control?
Just Piepenburg Campground will be getting that. We will also be doing it at Lake Marion, but that's separate. We're just using our normal operating budget for that. The other park roads, a lot of them, you know, it's such a short distance that they're driving. Buffalo Creek would maybe be the longest road as it comes in, but we really don't have a lot of issues with, you know, other vehicles there, or, you know, especially at the campgrounds, we want to control that dust so that it's not, you know, we just have a lot more traffic there, so it's not getting on the campers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, John.
Yep.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
County administration. I realize that I have something else, but we'll go into our calendars, so I'll try to give an abbreviated version of what I've done since the last meeting. Since our last meeting, I have had MRC, and that means Minnesota Rural Counties. We had a board, MRC board legislative update. We had lawmakers from the legislature come in and give us updates on what's been going on at the legislature. And then we had a workshop after last meeting. And I also, after the last meeting, we have some construction going on at our MRF facility, which is the recycling, where Mark was just up there. That's where his offices are. We have an elevator going in there. We had a contractor walkthrough. And after that, we had a economic development forum. And on the 8th, I had a Mid-Minnesota Development Commission board meeting. That is an organization that is kind of a regional economic development organization. I also had, on the 9th, I had a Fairgrounds Commission meeting. On the 10th, I had an ATP 8 transportation meeting. That is through my appointment to Mid-Minnesota Development. That is District 8. All the transportation issues that are going on there. Several commissioners from District 8 sit on that along with Andrew, our engineer, and different city engineers. On Monday the 13th, I had an SWCD board meeting, Soil and Water board meeting here at Government Center. That afternoon, I sat in on an AMC forum from Zoom on a Board of Equalization assessing. We had a presenter, an assessor from Cook County, I believe, that went through the different aspects of assessing and reasons they assess property, at their values, and, it's still hard to figure out, so I feel sometimes that I can't learn it all. You can't, and you can't, but I mean, it's always, it's kind of a moving target. On the 16th, I had a CEC Tri-County annual meeting, and on that afternoon, I also had an agenda review. And on Friday the 19th, here in the boardroom, we had a legislative workshop where we invited all our legislators for our area and had a question and answer workshop. And that brings us to today.
Okay, my calendar, I'll just expand on that economic forum a little bit, mainly for the benefit of the students that are here. So McLeod County does have a committee that we look at the economic future for McLeod County. And one of the things well, there are several pieces to that. Of course, we need to bring jobs to McLeod County. If you want to bring jobs, you have to bring people. People live in houses. And so we focus this forum on the housing shortage. We had a speaker come in and kind of blow that topic up in front of many community leaders from across the entire county that were here to listen to that. And it just created a space to have that conversation about what, as a county, what can we do to create better housing opportunities? Sometimes that might mean taking a close look at our own zoning regulations and rules. Are they in sync with the current needs? What kind of space is available for the future of housing? What does housing look like? Is it big homes or is it apartments? Is it smaller homes? And also recruiting contractors to come into the area to build those. And so that's what that was about. And we continue to meet throughout the year and have those discussions about how do we continue to bring value into McLeod County, whether it's jobs, people. I mean, we look at our education system. We have great schools. We have great health care. We have very good transportation going out in and out of here. Our placement in Minnesota is superior. We're right in the middle of the state. We're on some good highway systems to get products out of here, and that is a lot of the reason why there's so much manufacturing that happens here in the county. On the 9th, Fairgrounds Commission, we had an update on buildings and talked about some future stormwater concerns and some future plans that we can work together with, especially with the city of Hutchinson. On the 15th, the Canvas Board did meet and go over the election results for the McLeod County Commissioner District 5 election, and like always, they came out perfect with all the numbers. On the 16th, excuse me, allergy season was really kicking my butt this year, so on the 16th, we had a Tri-County Extension meeting where county board members and extension board members from Wright County, Meeker, and McLeod had a chance to all sit together with our educators and go over some of the positives and maybe some future plans that we can work on as far as continuing that outreach and that connection with all of the knowledge that comes out of the University of Minnesota. On the 17th, Commissioner Kruger brought up our legislative workshop. Our full board and our department heads met with our representatives and also staff from Representative Fishbach and Senator Tina Smith's office. I do want to note, outside of that, today is the last day of the Minnesota State FFA Convention. I believe that the GSL School District has 60 different members that are there competing in state competitions. Hutchinson, I think they're in the mid-20s as far as the numbers that they sent. They'll be joining thousands of other members from across the state that are on the University of Minnesota and Minnesota State Fairgrounds, participating in several different contests, and I'll try to get some of those results for the next time when we meet on the 5th of May. Phone calls in the last couple weeks have been mainly about the roundabout on 212 and Highway 15 that will be starting shortly, and also the road project right immediately in my neighborhood, which is the concrete overlay on County Road 18. That's it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner Wright, for your report. I'll start off with our last board meeting that was held on the 7th of April. We had our board meeting followed by a workshop that morning, which went into the afternoon. And then, like the other commissioners have mentioned, we had the Economic Development Forum here at the Government Center that evening, then from 4 till 6 p.m. And then the next day, Wednesday the 8th, Pact for Families had a Joint Powers Board meeting. It was actually held in the Glencoe Silver Lake High School facility. They rotate sites When we meet, they bring in staff, reports are given, and then the Joint Powers Board meets after those presentations, if and when actions are required. And then the following week, like Commissioner Wright had said, on Wednesday the 15th, I had Canvas Board along with a few other people that are part of the committee, where we reviewed the election results and made sure of the accuracy of the count, and signed off on the findings of the election for Commissioners District 5 in McLeod County. And I'll say again, on the 15th, we had what we call Lester Prairie Youth Task Force. This is something that's not really on my county schedule, but it's something that I took initiative on offering county services to the Lester Prairie Youth Task Force. The task force is a committee of people that meet and plan getting students from Lester Prairie into our church facilities. It's almost held every month, and along with that, it gets them exposed to the clergy that we have and the counseling opportunities that may exist. With that being said, I thought it would be a fantastic opportunity, knowing that we'd have about 170 to 180 kids in our facility at the church I go to. So I arranged for the services to be continued to be there. We had somebody there representing that group. We also had Emily from Canvas. Canvas is a company that McLeod County contracts with to staff the emergency mental health crisis line. So if you don't know that exists, please ask questions. And there are contacts, there are help out there 24/7. Somebody will answer the phone. So we were happy that Emily could be there from Canvas. We had Jamie there from McLeod County Public Health, delivering her message. Along with that, there was an opportunity to participate in what we call a CHA, which is a community health assessment that our public health is running at this point in time. And then lastly, we had Brett Nelson there from our Community Health Board. We share a Community Health Board with two other counties. It's Meeker, McLeod, and Sibley counties, and we call that our CHB. So we had a really good, responsible turnout. Everyone was very well behaved. The kids were sent home with a T-shirt, a cup, information, and what it's really all about is mental health, especially at the youth level, and that's what we offered there for that day. On Thursday the 16th, I had a Zoom meeting with HHS here in McLeod County. And then, like the other commissioners mentioned, on the 17th, we had a legislative workshop here on Friday. And then the phone calls that I received mostly pertain to I'll call it a blighted property in the city of Winsted. Mr. Chair, that brings us up to date for me.
So one of the benefits of me being the last one is they say a lot of what I went to, so I don't have to repeat that. So after the last meeting, we had our workshop. As Nathan said, it was a long day that day. Friday the 10th, I had the Southwest 18, which is a group of 18 counties down in southwest Minnesota that deal with health and human services issues. On Tuesday the 14th, I attended my first safety committee meeting. That's a new committee for me. When we lost our other commissioner late last year, then we all picked up extra committees, and that was one of them. And we basically talked about slips, trips, falls, how the things went over the winter, if there's things that can be improved on for safety within the buildings, outside the buildings, in our parking lot, but on the properties that we own. On the 16th, I also had a check-in via Zoom with HHS. That night, I went to that library meeting that I talked about earlier, and the major thing that we talked about at that meeting is that they have hired a new executive director for Pioneer Land, and they're hoping to have her start in July. Lori Ortega has been there for many, many years, and she is retiring, so they hired the director from Candio High County Libraries minus Wilmer. So that'll be interesting to see how that all does with the new changeover. Lori will be missed greatly. She has been a great benefit for Pioneer Library Land. So Friday the 17th, I also attended the legislative workshop that we held here, and I don't know, I thought it went well. It's nice to be able to talk one-on-one with these people, kind of just in a normal setting. And then, unfortunately, I was unable to attend the economic forum. I was about 15 minutes before I was walking out the door, and we had a grass fire over in Brownton, so I needed to go and help with that. But the majority of my calls the last couple weeks were on the assessing the property values and how at least Sumter Township, some of their values went up quite a bit, 50 to 60% on their buildings. So, and then just a reminder, I will be out starting tomorrow, and I will be back for our next meeting. So I won't have much. So that's it.
Attorney Hench?
Thank you. It's already been commented on, but my office did have a booth at that We Care About Kids event on Saturday. And I'll just echo, I mean, it was an incredibly positive event. A lot of positive feedback was, you know, people were thankful and really seemed to enjoy themselves. So I think it was a great event. And there were a number of different, you know, organizations there from our community. So the work behind the scenes to set it up was amazing, but what really made the event was the participation of both the organization and then all the families that stopped by. So just another kudos to everyone involved. And then our office did have another felony jury trial last week. Ms. Gusas, one of our assistants, led that trial. And, you know, I'm happy to announce there were, you know, guilty verdicts on both counts. There was a count of, you know, involving felony drug possession regarding methamphetamine, and then introducing contraband to jail for bringing or having some of that on the individual's person when they got brought into jail, but then it was located too. So just wanted to provide that update. Sentencing will be coming up, but it was a job well done by staff, so thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Hench. And I know I'm getting pressured they wanted to recess by 10, but we're going over a couple of minutes, and I apologize for that. But I seen Liz, our economic development person, just walk in the room. Do you want to come and just introduce yourself? I know she's coming with you, but we'll do it in this setting. Commissioner Wright commented on what you do. I mean, if you just short introduction.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Liz, and I'm the County Economic Development Coordinator. And I will be with you through the rest of the day on your tours and everything at the courthouse too. So I'm happy to answer questions either now or later on today.
Thank you, Liz. Sorry to put you on the spot, but
Thank you.
before I turn it over to our administrator with our administrative items, I have an update to read here. McLeod County Resolution 26 CB 14, making the office of the Auditor Treasurer appointed, was adopted during the March 17th, 2026 County Board meeting. Notification to the McLeod County Board and the general public confirming there was no petition delivered to the Auditor Treasurer's office to request a referendum, and the resolution is not rescinded. That's just a point of information.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, can we please have a 5-minute recess so the students can go to the courthouse and stay on schedule? They're all
right,
waiting
that'd be
for them.
fine. So thanks again for coming, and I just want to highlight Commissioner Chaska in her report said that she went to a grass fire. She's a first responder. So plus everything else, she does that as well.
Students, so we're going to head to the courthouse now. Just one more reminder. Please leave as many metal objects as you can in your cars behind you. If you have belts, just be prepared. You're going to have to take them off. They'll go through scanning. And again, we're going through security. Don't bring things through security that you don't want to go through security.
And you'll exit through this front door, please.
Yes, this way, students.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll meet
Thanks
you there.
again for coming. Thank you. Have a
Thank you,
fun time.
commissioners.
See you there.
Don't leave any in jail now.
Okay, we can, Ryan, we're gonna go ahead and get started right away, sorry, if you're ready, but, are you good being over there? All right. Just so we can get you guys out of here, sorry. Thank you. Do you want me to go ahead with the items?
Go ahead, yes.
Wow, you guys are really popular when all the students left. That's an empty room. Item A, consider renewing the annual service agreement with Safe Assure Consultants Incorporated for safety training, written procedures, and general services at a cost of $4,675.43 with funds from the safety budget. This is a decrease of $207.05 from the previous year, as the county received a $500 discount for its electronic safety data sheet database management. And typically, Stefan would have presented that to you with being the safety coordinator, but of course, he's with the students, so I told him I would take his items. Thank you.
Board's wishes? Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Chaska. Any discussion? I'm just gonna make a comment, considering both A and B here. I did question this when we set up the agenda. And one thing that I, did like is that if there is an OSHA inspection, they are supposed, if we let them know, they are supposed to send someone here, because if we go through all this and spend this money, I mean, I at least want them, or it sounded good to me that they're there and take a little responsibility for anything we may miss, and make sure they're all informed at the same time we are, so. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, consider renewing the annual service agreement with Safe Assure Consultants Incorporated for occupational safety and health administration and other public works safety-related training at a cost of $7,458.07, coming with funds from the highway maintenance budget, it being an increase of $422.15 from the previous year. And again, Commissioner Kruger is with us during agenda reviews. He had questions about that, and we just provided the information. These are all requirements for training that has to be done for them to perform their work. Thank you.
Wishes of the board?
Mr. Chair, I'll move request.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, notification of McLeod Drainage Authority public meeting on the bids to be received for repair of County Ditch 12A. The meeting will be held in the Martin McLeod Boardroom of the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota, on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, at 9:15 a.m. or thereafter. Item D, notification of board workshop following the board meeting on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. And I also just want to note that at our next county board meeting prior, the swearing in of the new District 5 Commissioner will occur.
I asked a question, and Ryan can verify it, but I think it had to clear the state, even though we even we did,
It's unofficial results at this point, I believe, until that point. Thank you. And
and
our
it's hard to
judge,
plan ahead for everything, but yeah, I guess that was the best we could do.
so a district judge will meet us here beforehand, before the meeting. And they will perform the swearing in of the District 5 Commissioner.
And I just want to highlight a C, for anybody that catches this information there, that's very important. That's my district, our district, but my district. This is a very important drainage project, and I would hope that all the watershed people would show up for this meeting. It's really an important meeting. Not that all aren't, but this one is, there's been a lot of preparation done for this, and we need the response of the landowners. And then our students are gone, but, and it was a good meeting, and we went through them. There was one thing that was highlighted today was mental health. And one thing that wasn't said today, and not that anything changed in the last 2 weeks, but vets are dying at about a rate of 21 people per day from suicide. So I do not want to, I don't want them to be left out. I know they're at the fairground this last week, and I haven't had time to check, or this last weekend, there was a woman's forum for women lady vets that was had. I don't know how good it turned out. I hope it turned out well for them, but that is a real distressing number. And I mean, for what they do for our country, it's just distressing. It's been that number, and I stand to be corrected if I'm one off, but it's distressing no matter what.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
and I can add a little bit to that. With our CHB and the community health assessment that we are getting near completion on, we start to target the groups that we feel need the most help in McLeod County. And I can assure you that the veterans group is near the top of the list, so they're not forgotten, and they're part of our community health assessment that we're taking information on right now.
Thank you, and good to hear.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I just want to note that Commissioner Wright did a good job of reaching out after the to-be-continued annual event, and I don't want to spoil their good news of their fundraising in the area, but they will be attending either the first or second, I believe it's actually the second county board meeting in May, and they'll be giving a good presentation on their recent efforts. So thank you to Commissioner Wright for reminding us of having them come, because they have before, and he participated at a past event, so that is relevant to your information as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Open forum. Anyone here wishing to address the board? Tom?
Tom Dahl, Coma Township. If you'd put your county ditch hat on now, because Commissioner Wright is aware of this, and we did get a hold of Ryan's office. We had a failure on a road. So what appeared to be about a 1-foot hole turned out to be about 4 inches underneath. So your reverse cone shape. So on that, I'll just talk to Paul directly on this one, because that culvert needs to be reset. It's been done before. It's been fixed on one side and bound together. It needs to be done on the other side. A total reset is in order on this, and a total binding of the whole culvert system. And while Adam was out there, we were not engineers, but I can tell you by standing there watching the water and stuff, the next road down, which is 230th, which is a county road, that culvert is way too high compared to what the water in that ditch. So we've got good run on one where the failure was. When you get to the next one, it appears to be like 1.5 to 2 feet high. It's really bad. But anyway, you're aware there's failure there. Acoma Township's going to reset it for you when we know what Ryan wants out of his office. What's the set to be? We know it's in dirt now. It's got to be gravel. So just so you're aware of it. Thank you. Questions?
you.
Pardon?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, our procedure is not to respond during open forum, so. Press relations, any questions, comments? Yeah, I believe it's, yeah, it would be on May 5th. And that was due to, at least in planning, that we didn't have the official results back on the, with the canvassing board bet, as was noted, and, everything was okay here, but it had to be sent in and returned. Is that correct, Ryan?
Yeah, we couldn't do it today, so the 5th's the earliest opportunity. I didn't hear everything, but yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, the next county board meeting will be held at 9 a.m. Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North in Glencoe, here at the Government Center. With that, I'll entertain a motion to recess.
Move recess, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz and seconded by Commissioner Chaska. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are recessed until May 5th.